Look what Santa brought me. So very pretty. Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs, and this is my weekly vlog for Monday, December the 30th, 2019, and it's vlog number 148. Not that the numbers mean anything, only to me. So I hope everybody had a really great Christmas. We had a nice Christmas. It was sort of quiet, and that was just fine by me. And now we have New Year's Eve to look forward to, which is tomorrow night. And we'll talk a little bit more about New Year's Eve in a moment. And so that takes us to what? What have I been working on? So I haven't been working on a whole heck of a lot. And to be honest, my enthusiasm for quilting right at this point in time has been dwindling a little bit, which is kind of scaring me. I think it's just the time of the year. There's been so much going on, you know, the hubbub of Christmas and all that, that I just haven't had a chance to sit down and really concentrate on what I want to do. But I did play around with some improvised quilting. Now, improvised quilting is simply what the word says. It's taking scrap fabric and just not thinking about design or anything else like that, and just sewing the pieces together and putting some decorative stitches on it. It's a form of crazy quilting, if you know what I mean by that. But this one's a little bit freer. There are some rules to crazy quilting, not many. And this one, there's absolutely no rules. So I made these 4 blocks, and this is what I came up with. It's a bit of a mishmash of everything. I'm not even sure which way it would look best. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with it. Or what I might do is just put a bunch of them together over time and see what ends up happening. It might make a quilt, it might make a table runner, it might make a banner, a wall hanging. I don't know. But I find that sometimes when I get a bit of a creative block, or I'm just not feeling creative, that if I do something like this that doesn't take a lot of thought, it kind of gets me back into the mood for doing this kind of thing. And this applies to not just quilting. This applies to art journaling, mixed media, whatever craft you're into. We all hit a dry spell for a while, and where we just don't feel like being creative. And so what I find is if I do something that is completely mindless, I'm not worried about the outcome of it, you know, I'm just slapping things down, that usually rejuvenates my creative juices. So anyways, that's what I've been doing, besides, you know, getting things ready for Christmas and for post-Christmas and everything else. So what else? Well, this week's YouTube channel is a little different. I stumbled across this one. It's out of the UK. It's called Travel Man. And to be honest, I'm really not sure what the website or what the YouTube channel is all about, because it has a real mishmash of all kinds of things. He talks about traveling, he talks about celebrities, he talks about gadgets, tech tools, things like that. In fact, that's what attracted me to this particular YouTube channel at first, is because he was reviewing some really neat tech tools, and I love machines. So anyways, here's my little review on a YouTube channel called Travel Man. The YouTube channel of the week is called Travel Man, and this is not really about travel, although some of the videos in it are. This is really kind of quirky. It's about a whole variety of different things, and it comes from the UK. Now, the person who does this I have seen on some BBC productions before, but I couldn't tell you what his name is at all. But there's a nice mixture of humor and education, especially when he's showing you some high-tech items, and he shows you what they do and how much they might cost. And some of them are quite expensive and quite elaborate. So if you're looking for something that's both educational and humorous, then check out Travel Man. So as always, the links are in the show notes below for the YouTube channel, as are the links for my blog and for Stephen and Walter Live. Stephen and Walter Live this week, we talked a little bit about, you know, the stress of after Christmas when all the excitement is gone. I'm going to talk a little bit more about post-Christmas blues in a moment, or at least how it affects me. But we did talk about New Year's Eve and our plans for that, and we don't have a lot, and I'll probably run over that again near the end of today's vlog. And there's also a link to this week's book of the week, which we'll come to in a few minutes. So that takes us to what's pissing me off this week. Coffee time. And just as an aside, you know I've been up and down about coffee lately. I've thought it was affecting my stomach. It was giving me acid reflux, that kind of thing. And then Walter gave me these pills that the doctor had put him on at one point for acid reflux, and those worked really well. But here's the strange part about those pills. I wasn't really going to talk about this today, but I'm here. Let's go for it. I've been having pains in my legs, specifically in the calf muscles of my legs, like stiffness, a dull ache kind of a thing. Now, I've been trying to figure out what that was caused by. I was thinking, well, is it because I've been going up and downstairs a lot? Well, no, not any more than I usually do. It's not because I overexercise. Definitely not that. So anyways, I was getting a little concerned about this. And I have been experiencing for the last few years a little bit of numbness in the tips of my toes, especially at night. Sometimes it's worse than other times. Now, yes, I have not spoken to my doctor about this. And my reason being is, and call me foolish because it probably is foolish, but the reason is my doctor is pill happy, as I've said before, will probably end up giving me some kind of pill for it or sending me for some stupid tests where you sit around, they probe you, they pick at you, the whole bit, and the end result is they don't know what's wrong with you and say, well, if it doesn't get any worse, then, live with it. Kind of a thing, or call us in the morning, take 2 aspirin. Now, my sister had something similar in her hands a few years ago, and she went through all kinds of tests and whatnot, and the doctors found nothing. They had no idea what it is. And I'm not sure if she's still suffering from it or not. I did ask her some time ago, and, well, my memory's not as good as it used to be, so I'm really not sure what she told me. Sorry. But she's living with it, whatever. They couldn't find anything really wrong. So anyways, back to my calves. I thought, I've got these drugs. I have never been on as many drugs as I am now in my life. I guess that's a sign of old age. And I don't like taking drugs, quite honestly. In fact, I don't even take anything for a headache. It has to be a pretty bad headache for me to go and, take a Tylenol or something like that. I just have this aversion to taking pills. Well, I've been on Crestor for many, many years, and one of the side effects of Crestor, it says, is joint pain. Well, I've been on Crestor for 10 years, and so I figured that can't be that, because I don't really have any joint pain with that. Now, the blood pressure pills that I'm on are new, but I've been on these now for several months, and this just started to happen. But then I got thinking about it. Maybe this anti-reflex drug has side effects. So I looked them up on the internet, and guess what? One of the side effects of this drug, well, actually it wasn't this drug specifically, it was my blood pressure medication, can cause joint and muscle pain. So I thought, my stomach's been feeling fine lately, and I also read that you should only take this particular drug for the antacid or the acid reflux. You shouldn't take it any more than 4 to 8 weeks. So I've been taking it for probably about a month or so that's 4 weeks. So I decided I'll stop it. Now, Walter warned me that when he stopped this drug, he had some emotional effects from it, some anxiety and whatnot. So that got me a little worried too. But I stopped it a few days ago. This is day 3 that I haven't taken it. And so far, knock wood, the acid reflux has not come back, which is good. And I have noticed, and I don't know if this is mind over matter or what, but my legs aren't aching. So I'm thinking there's a correlation. Either that drug has this specific side effect to it, or in conjunction with the blood pressure pills. Maybe. So anyways, I'm debating whether I will mention this to my doctor or not. Now, I know there's a ton of you out there going to say, you can't let that go. It could be symptoms of something more serious. And you know something? It could be, and I don't know if I want to know. Sometimes I think ignorance is bliss, okay? I know you're going to say, that's stupid, don't go that route. I don't know. It's just that this particular doctor I've got is a real pill pusher. And, you know, like the blood pressure pills she's put me on, I have not noticed any real significant difference in my blood pressure or my pulse rate. I have a high pulse rate, and I always have. And I've told my doctor that, but she still seems to be concerned about it. So I don't know. Medical science, you've heard me say this before, isn't that long out of the trees. Really, we're not that far ahead of what they used to do in the Middle Ages. Medicine today is still a hit and miss thing. They like to tell us it's a real science and they've made progress, but yeah, I suppose they've made some progress, but oh well. Anyways, I'm sounding like one of those people who thinks all doctors are quacks, and I don't. But whatever. It is what it is. So how I got on this, I don't remember, because that's leading me into, and it might be part of what I want to talk about today about what's pissing me off, and that's post-Christmas blues. And I think many, many people suffer from this. When I was younger, I used to suffer from this as well. And what is post-Christmas blues? Well, the way I define it is, it's the letdown after Christmas. You have spent a month, it's for some people more than a month, getting ramped up for Christmas Day and for New Year's. You've done all the preparation. You've been out in the hustle and the bustle of Christmas shopping. You know, you've been to parties or lunches. Everybody has been up here in terms of their happy level and whatnot. And then Christmas Day comes and we all enjoy that. And then bang, Boxing Day hits. Well, Boxing Day is still exciting because some people get right into the Boxing Day sales, which really is almost an oxymoron anymore because there aren't any real sales. None that I've seen. So, and none that I'd be willing to stand in line up for either. But that's just me. So you have that. And then you have New Year's. Okay, and everybody's planning things. Now, lots of people go out for New Year's and that, or have parties at the home or do something special. And then January the 1st hits. Boom. Everything stops. Christmas decorations are coming down. The Christmas ads on TV, the Christmas specials on TV and everything are over. Christmas music is put away for the next 11 months. The store shelves look bare because they've been ransacked by people buying things, although most people are buying stuff online now. So there you go. And then we look at it and we have to go back to school. We have to go back to work, unless you're retired. And the routines start in again. And you just have this feeling of, you know, what's there to look forward to now? Christmas is a whole year away again. And some people go into deep depression with that. But I think we're all affected by it. I think we all suddenly get this, well, I get this antsy feeling like I should be doing something, which is not good for me. Because when I get that feeling, that doing something means let's go out and let's go shopping. And these days it's for fabric. Okay? And that isn't really such a great idea. You know, you start overspending, and you probably have bills left over from Christmas. So all of this is another form of stress. There's the stress of getting ready for Christmas, and then there's the stress with trying to get your life back on track. And of course, it doesn't help with people who make New Year's resolutions. I don't make any resolutions. And somebody said yesterday on Stephen and Walter Live when we were talking about this, that her resolution is to not make resolutions. And I agree with that. I am the same way. I do not make New Year's resolutions. Why? Because I can't keep them. I know. And usually resolutions are very unrealistic. Like, yes, I'm going to go to the gym on a regular basis and I'm going to lose 30 pounds. Yeah, nice thought. Maybe some people do. But Walter goes to the gym on a regular basis and he says, come January, the gym is as busy as heck because people have bought memberships for Christmas gifts, or they're having that New Year's resolution, I'm going to lose all this weight and I'm going to go to the gym on a regular basis. So in January and in February, the gym is really, really busy. And then it starts to die off and go to its normal levels for the rest of the year. Because what happens is people get busy, people can't keep up with the New Year's resolution, had all the greatest intentions, and it all falls apart. So, and that's usually what happens with resolutions. So I don't make them for that reason. But I think that puts stress on people as well. So do we need it? No, we don't need any of this stress. Are we feeling depressed? Yeah, because the world is back to normal again. There isn't the visual excitement for us that you get at Christmas time with everything being decorated. So it seems drab. It's also, in this part of the world, a drab time of the year. I mean, I'm looking out my window right here this morning. We don't have snow, but we're having a whole lot of rain right now. Rain in December in Canada sucks. It's cold-ish. And what I mean by coldish is it's not like winter cold. It's like damp, rainy weather cold out there. There's a wind. I keep looking out my window because there's bushes out here blowing back and forth. The wind's pretty strong today. It's gray. There's no sun. It's almost 9 o'clock in the morning and it's just gray, overcast. And this is what it's like for the next couple of months in this country. You see all those beautiful pictures of like in the country in the snow drifting down, the trees looking so pretty. Yeah, the reality is those are moments that only happen rarely. The grayness, the drabbiness of it is more the norm. And no wonder people start to suffer from light deprivation, depression, and things like that. Why people suddenly decide they want to go to Florida, or someplace warm, and that kind of thing. All of that contributes to this post-Christmas blues. And for some people, they never get out of that. Especially if they're suffering from depression already, that's even worse. So, what am I pissed off about? I'm pissed off that I should feel this way at this time of the year. What can I do about it? Well, there's lots of things you can do about it, okay? 1, find something to do that you've never done before. And just do it. What do I mean by that? Museums, art galleries, take a class, go someplace you've never been before. That's in your area. There's lots of places that, because we live so close to them, we don't bother to see them. Or we figure, I live here, so it's not that exciting. I think that helps getting the juices flowing. Crafts. Take up a new craft. Try something new. Something that you've seen maybe on YouTube or whatever, or a website, and you've thought that might be interesting, but you've never bothered to try it. Even if you think you're going to fail at it, try it. You'll be surprised. At least, what's the worst thing that can happen? So it doesn't turn out. Big deal. But it gave you that creative mojo kind of a thing that I was talking about earlier on the vlog. And this is the advice I give myself. And this is what I'm going to do. Now, there will be a new class coming up that I'll be taking. I have some projects that I haven't finished yet that I want to get done. Get on with that and stop procrastinating. It's too easy to turn on the TV set and rot. And I have been doing that over this Christmas time lately. I've caught up on a few of my silly programs that I watch, I call silly, or ones that really don't stimulate the brain cells to grow or anything like that, but they're just an amusing waste of time. Well, yeah, you're laying on the couch eating bonbons and watching TV, and I don't need the bonbons, and I don't need to be pickling my brain either. So, read a new book, okay? Maybe you're not a reader, but there's quite a variety of topics that you could get into. Search for new YouTube videos. I know that's probably like watching TV to a point, but oftentimes YouTube videos can teach us as well. You pick the right ones. So there's lots of things you can do to get out of your post-Christmas blues. Don't let those take you down. Okay? So that's the advice I'm giving myself. You may not suffer from post-Christmas blues. I don't know. But I do. But not that severely. Actually, it comes when I start taking down the Christmas decorations a little bit. Then I know, okay, that's over. And for somebody who doesn't really like Christmas, you'd think I'd be happy. But I'm not. But anyways, that's my advice if you're suffering from post-Christmas blues. That may have been a very convoluted way of discussing the whole issue, but that's me. Okay, moving on. How about some coffee? Good idea. As long as my stomach holds out. Okay. And, I skipped over what's behind me. So, this is what's called a crazy patch. Well, they're crazy patch blocks. And I did them in the hoop in my embroidery machine, each block. And then I put them together, and this is a wall hanging for my mother's room. When I start taking out her Christmas decorations, I thought, well, the room's going to look kind of bare. Better hang up some new things. Now, I already have a banner that I made her some time ago, but she has 2 wardrobe doors, so I'm going to put this one on the second door. The other banner's still hanging up there. I'm not completely sold on it. It's pretty in the colors, and you can't see it on the video, but there is some embroidery, very light embroidery in the center of each one of those blocks. There's a series of 3 butterflies in a single color, but they don't show up on the camera very well. It's bright, it's cheerful, it'll do for now. And I'm still working on some other ideas. I'm thinking of doing a series of these types of banners, and they have to be that skinny because her doors are very skinny. For the seasons kind of a thing. So this will be a placeholder for a while. I'll look for maybe some patterns or some ideas for, some spring-like banners, and then maybe some summer ones and some fall and winter, and then, I'll just keep rotating them out. I like making things like this because they're fast, they're pretty easy, and it's almost immediate gratification because you can basically knock one of these suckers off in a day without a problem. So that's what I'm thinking. So I have been working on that. I forgot all about it. Okay, so let's, what are we on now? Oh, let's talk about products. Well, haven't bought really anything new completely, but I thought I'd show you what Walter gave me for Christmas. So now we don't get into big Christmas gifts or things like that, but we have tried several years in a row. Let's just forget about giving each other Christmas gifts. And you know something? It's kind of depressing when you don't give something. It doesn't have to be a lot, but it is Christmas time, and I said to him, okay, just little things. And of course, one of those little things, and I get them every year because they're my favorite, are what are called fruit jellies. Now, these are President's Choice ones. You can get more elaborate ones at Laura Secord, but these cost a lot less, and there's absolutely no difference that I can detect between buying the Laura Secord ones and the President's Choice ones. And Walter knows that. So he got me not 1 box, not 2 boxes. He got me 6 boxes of these things. The reason being was they were on sale for half price. Walter loves a sale. What can I say? But that's okay by me. I need sugar. I really do need sugar. I mean, it's a health thing for me. That's what I'm going to tell myself, and that's what I'm going to believe. But I do love these things. So I've got 6 boxes of them. He did get me a new pair of gloves. Now, I've got umpteen million pairs of gloves all over the place. I can never find them when I need them. I certainly don't need them right now in the weather that we're having at the moment. But these are really nice. These are leather. Very stylish. And these ones, he got them on sale. And I'm glad that he did, because I think these were about $75 regular price. But they're really nice gloves. And now I'm afraid I'll lose them. But they're nice. I don't wear gloves a lot, but now that I got a decent pair, maybe I will. He also got me some fabric, and he got me a couple of layer cakes. They're called layer cakes. They have 10-inch squares of fabric, and these are really pretty. These are called Artisan Batiks. So he got me batiks. And I think these are, let's see, the Robert Kaufman, which is a big name. And there's 42 of these in here. So that's quite a few in the kit. You can definitely make something out of these. And he also got me another package of batiks. And I think these are, who makes these? Island Batik is what they're called. And there are 42 in here too. Really nice colors. So I'm saving these for something special. When I see a pattern that I think I could use these in that are worthy, I will use them for that. So he got me that. He got me a gift certificate for Amazon because, of course, I buy everything on Amazon. So that's great too. And I'm trying to think what else he gave me. Oh, he gave me another box of chocolates as well. Like, I think he just is fattening me up for the kill. I don't know. But my fault, because I can't resist. So it's simple as that. So anyways, we had a nice Christmas day, and those are some of the new things. Now, I did go out and buy some things because on Boxing Day, Ultimate Sewing had a big sale, 20% off everything in the store, including fabric. And I've had my eye on these particular fabrics for a while, and I thought this would be my excuse to buy them. And here they are. I only bought a meter of each of these fabrics. They all sort of go together, and I think they're really nice. Now, actually, Walter, in one of his bags, he used this style of fabric in one of his bags as well, and it turned out really nice. I don't know what I'm going to do with these yet, but they're pretty. And you know me and fabric. If it's pretty, I want it. So yeah, so that's all that I have due for you this week. And that takes us to, I'm reading my notes here. The book review of the week. Pulled this one out of my stash. 10-minute cards to give and share. So if you're a card maker, I have a lot of pages marked in here. They must have been things I want to try to make. At one point in time, when I first retired a few years ago, I was giving classes in card making to senior citizens at the Senior Citizen Center. And I think I used this book as the basis of my ideas, and I think that's why the pages are marked. So you can tell by the number of pages I've marked, I really liked this book. And it is a great book. It's got, great pictures in it, great ideas, and instructions for how to do a variety of cards. And there are some very unusual cards in here as well. So if you're a card maker and you need some ideas, and you want to try some things that are a little bit different, I recommend this book. Now, it is called 10-Minute Cards to Give and Share. It's by, edited by Tanya Fox, but it's put together by something called House of White Birches. I'm not sure, well, I am sure. I paid $23.95 for it whenever I bought it, which is some time ago. So I looked it up, and I did find it on Amazon.ca, and you can get this book for $11.54, plus whatever the shipping is. But if you go into the used book section, they had it as low as $6. So again, I've said this before, always check out the used book section of Amazon, because I have had a lot of luck there. The books that I've gotten have been in pristine condition, like brand new, and for a fraction of the price. So don't be afraid of used books, okay? So the link for that is in the show notes as well. And that takes us to our iCraft kit for the next couple of weeks. We're getting down to the end of all the iCraft kits that I bought, and I bought them all. This is the second to last one, and it's called the iCraft Flip Fold Album. Now, I had some problems, as you're going to see in the video, assembling this, and I explain in the video why. And it's also the reason why I do these videos, because the instructions that come with these, if they come with any at all, how do you put it gently? Suck. Yeah, majorly suck. So this week, I'm assembling this one. So today we're going to put together the iCraft Flip Fold Album. And this is another one in our iCraft series, and I've just read here what's on the box. In fact, there's something on here that's really quite funny. It says this set contains one set of 7 pieces each of black and craft cardstock. So basically, in this kit, you're able to make 2 flip fold albums. And as I've said before, very good value. I think the kit cost about $10.99. This scrapbook can accommodate 12 photographs. The final size of the scrapbook would be 3.5 inches by 5 inches. So it can accommodate 12 photographs, but they're going to have to be less than 3.5 by 5 inches. So a 4 by 6 is not going to fit in here. You'd have to shave them down. Now, if you turn it to the back, as in all the kits, it shows you the layout and the measurements for each section, and it looks fairly straightforward to put it together. They do say there are DIY instructions included, which is good to know, and then there's the photos down below that show you what it looks like when it's finished. Now, here's where I found something that was really funny. It says, in consideration of the environment, we make every effort to reduce the amount of packaging without products. Without products. Obviously, their translation into English, this comes from India, is a little out on that one, but I found that line kind of funny. Sure, you will be reducing your packaging if you don't have the product in it. I think they just meant that they have less packaging. Whatever. Didn't think it had a lot to start with. But here we go. Let's open it up and see what we get. So, we have our instruction sheet, which shows us each of the pieces, and I like to see that because I mark the pieces so I know which ones go where. And then it shows you the basic assembly, which looks fairly straightforward. The one thing I do not like about their instructions is they take photographs of the craft, and sometimes it is difficult, I find, in here to see what they're doing because of that color. But anyways, so let's open up our package. It said we have craft and we have black, and yes, it does look like we do have both. So let's take out the craft one, put the black one aside, and let's identify our pieces in the kit. So I'm just going to lay them out here. Okay, are these all the same size? They look like they're all the same size except for that one. So I'm just going to get out my pencil and I'm going to write what they have here. So we have a base piece. It says there's one base piece, an A side and a B side. So that must be this one because it looks like it's the wider of them all. Although there is a crease in the middle and it's not showing that crease in the middle. So I'm wondering, no. These ones are all the same size, so this must be, okay, I'm going to say this is base. This is the base piece, and I'm just going to write that on here. And it has an A side and a B side, according to our instructions right here. And then it says there's page 2 and page 3 and then flap 4. Oh, wait. This is not the base. This is flap 4. Okay, get rid of that. Get rid of that. Good thing I'm going to cover these up. This is flap piece 4 because it shows the score line here. So each of these, one of these is base. Oh, okay, the base has 2 score lines, and that has, and these are different. They only have 1 score line each. Okay. See, you really need to do this when you first start this. That's an A. That's a B. And then this is page 2. Oops. Page 3. And I am assuming these have to do, now they don't, oh wait, yes they are. Connector 6 and connector 7. connector 6, connector 7, and belt 5. Not sure why they put numbers on these, because they don't, well, no, they do refer to them in the instructions. So their instructions have been getting better with each kit. Either that or I'm getting more used to them. I'm not sure which. So first thing it says is to fold base 1 along all crease lines. This is base 1, and there's a crease line. There's a crease line. Crease line. And a crease line. Okay, we have done that. Step 2. Attach the connector 6 on either side of base 1 as shown. Okay, connector 6. Okay. Looks like they fold it. Add connector 6 to the base 1, side A or B. Okay. Not really understanding this. Attach connector 6 on either side of base 1 as shown. And then step 3 says add connector 6 to the base 1, side A or B. Looking down a step. Okay, so they show that folded over and this one folded like this. So I guess this goes, this flat edge gets connected like that. Okay, so basically turn it over. And it looks like these go on both ends. Okay, so they're showing this. Oh, their instructions are so confusing. Okay. I am not really sure. I am lost. Let's take a look at the picture on the box, which is absolutely no bloody help. Okay, so they're showing this one turned up this way with this folded down along here. Then they're showing you no idea. But in here they're showing repeat on opposite side of the elbow. It looks like there's something underneath here. And I don't know. Okay. Okay, then you go to the score lines. Okay, this I'm going to have to, so you don't have to listen to me thinking out loud, I'm going to stop the video and I'll be back when I have this figured out. Okay, I'm still lost, but by the looks of things, you take the base part, and you connect these connectors along the first score line, because you're making a gutter here, so you want it to open up. So you've taken these two pieces, I've folded them half on the score line, I put some double-sided tape, I used a 1/4 inch double-sided tape on the back of this one and the back of this one, and lined them up in here. So I have these hinges. Then I think, according to the diagram, you have to take, one of these flaps is shorter than the other. You see? This one's a little shorter, so it looks like in the picture the shorter one is going this way, and you're folding this one up this way, and you're just going to put the other edge of this connector on that, so it'll swing this way, and you do the same on the opposite side. At least that's the way I'm going to do it. So we'll see here. This is why I make these videos, because this is very, very confusing. Sure, it makes sense to those who designed this, but it doesn't make sense to those of us that are trying to put it together. So I've got double-sided tape on each one of these flaps. I've got the longer flap inwards, so I'm just going to line it up. I'll do it this way. Line it up. Now, these are a little smaller than the ones on the outside, and I wonder if that's the way it's supposed to be. Well, we're going to give it a try and see what happens. So I've got that side in, so this would swing over, and that would swing. Looking at the diagram, no, wait. I'm so lost. I am so lost on this one. See, they've got, looks like there's a flap underneath here, but that's the flap of this one. Show that bent up like that. But they're really not showing where this one's supposed to go. Unless that gets folded under. Okay, let's just say that was folded under. I think that might be the way it goes. Okay, we got to take this off. Hopefully I can. I'm glad there's two in a box. Okay, that kind of made a mangled mess of that, didn't it? Well, not too bad. All right, I'm thinking we show that one going down. I think that one should be folded under, and then it would be stuck this way. Yes, I think that's the way it's supposed to go. Well, even if it's not, it's the way it's going to go. I guess that's the beauty of these kits, isn't it? You can fold them in many different ways to suit your purposes. So, get that folded under. So let's just butt that up. Hope I'm in shot here. Just going to butt that up to that and fold that down. Okay, so that would fold in that way and that, and so I guess you have that. Wait, what's that? Oh, that's, I got some tape on that side. It's not supposed to do that. Let's see if I can get the tape off. So you'd have these two flaps here. This goes over this way, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side with the other piece. So one of these is shorter, that one's shorter, so it'll go out that way, and we'll attach that to that. Okay. Just butting it up, fold that over. Okay. So this is what we have. That opens up. We have two flaps that way. That opens up two flaps that way. Okay, now we come to this piece, and they're showing, it says fold score lines of flap 4 as shown. So they've got a mountain here, and they've got two valleys here. Okay, flip over the page. Attach flap 4 to the base of 1. Okay, there's base 1. Attach flap 4. Now, does this not look like they're taking the longer one and putting it this way? Okay, if you do it that way, then those pieces would fold in. Would be like this, 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 this. Well, yes, that would work. But what about the picture?
they don't show it flipping out. They show two flaps going out like this, and then on the inside you've got well, it looks like they've got a flap. There's a larger, okay, maybe those go in this way. Okay, if that's the case, I guess it doesn't matter, you can put it any way you want. But I'm still not understanding. Okay, in this diagram they show I think that's the way it's supposed to go. I don't think they did a picture though showing that this comes out from the top, because there'd be no reason for that. It'd be too big. That's got to be the way it goes. Okay, so this piece, are you completely confused at the moment? Because I am. So this is the way I'm going to do it, I have decided. This piece, which they call flap 4, is going to go right in the center here. And it just fits. Okay, so we'll take some of our two-sided tape. I'm going to use a 1/2 inch on this one. Oops. At least not whatnot. Got a little extra there. I'll just roll that in. Of course, I'm using double-sided tape. You could use wet glue for this. All right, so let's just fold this up like this. I'm just looking at this. This is a smaller flap. It's basically showing this more going out this way. Yeah, I think that makes more sense, sort of. But it doesn't show any space. Oh, this kit is the most confusing one I've seen. Let's get a little closer up here. No, that's showing the long one. Okay. That's going to be the long one for me. Okay, let's clear off some of this garbage for a second, and let's just see what we've got, if I can get the garbage cleaned up. Okay, so here's what we have so far. Opens out like that. So this part gets folded down in the center. This part is folded. Could be either way. You can fold these two parts in. One goes over the top of the other. Let's make sure everything's straight. That one goes this way, that one goes this way. This one, this one. Okay, that will work. Where's my picture? They show two flaps in the center one. Opening up. Those are out. This is the longer one. It goes this way, this way. What they're not showing is how this one goes up that way. But it has to. And it's going to. Alright, there we go. The last part of this is to put on, place complete scrapbook in between score lines of belt as shown. There's score lines on the belt. Yes, there are. And they are double score lines. Yes, they are. To give it a little bit of wiggle room. Okay. Place complete scrapbook score lines as belt as shown. Glue belt ends together, ensuring belt can be removed to access your album. Okay. And I guess it goes on, yep, top, so we need to put some tape on here. And I'm stuck to the tape. Okay, there we go. And let's just line this up. And there we have it. Now you can see it's not that big, and a 4x6 picture is not going to fit in here in this album. It's the one thing, these little albums, they're small, but they don't fit the kind of pictures we take, at least in North America. Maybe they take smaller pictures in India. I don't know. But there it is, the final thing. So let's just review what happened here, because this was very confusing. So we had two connectors down on each side, folded in half. Then we took one of the pieces called a page. There's page 2, page 3. They're both the same size. They've got a little longer flap on one end than on the other. So we took the smaller flap, or let's say we took the larger flap, we folded it in half this way, and we connected the other side of the connector to that. So basically, if you were to open it up this way, that would be what would happen. We did the same thing on the other side. So those are attached. Then we took what they called flap 4, folded it like this, accordion, took the bigger flap, because there's a small one at this end, this piece in the middle that folds, and this larger one at this end, and we put it down and centered it and aligned the top edge at the fold with the top edge of the other pieces that are here on the base, taped it down, glued it down, and then it folds in this way. So then these pieces, that flap goes in, over, this flap goes in and over, and then we have these flaps and then the outside flaps. And then the belt just slips on. Now, the problem with these belts is that as soon as you get any 3D embellishments inside of this, the belt's not going to hold anymore. You may want to put a ribbon on it, and we may be doing that when we come back to do the actual embellishing of this, and that means the background papers. So that's what we'll do in the next segment.
So next week we'll look at doing the basic background papers for each section of that album. Okay, so that takes us to events in the past week. Update of my mother. She's fine. Little funny story. I never know with my mother whether she's losing it, Walter thinks she is, or whether it's just part of her evil, conniving ways. Yeah, I know that sounds a little harsh about my mother, but my mother can be very, what would be the word for it? She can be very sneaky, okay, in what she does. So I said to Walter over this Christmas period, be prepared. We're going to come over there one day and she's going to be in bed. And it's going to be, oh, poor her. She's not feeling well or whatever, but when you start to question her as to specifically what the problem is, you get vague answers. You know, is your stomach upset? Well, not really. Does your head hurt? Well, not really. Does your body ache? Well, yes and no, but yeah, not really. So why are you in bed? Well, actually, it didn't happen until Christmas Eve. We were going to my sister's for dinner on Christmas Eve. So my sister lives in the same town that my mother's nursing home is in. And so we decided, okay, it was our usual day to go and visit my mother anyways. We'll just put a little later in the day. We'd go in around 4 o'clock. We're supposed to be at my sister's around 5 o'clock. My sister only lives about a mile away from the nursing home. So we went in to see my mother. Well, when we got there, the staff were lifting her into bed. So I said to the staff, "Oh, is my mother not feeling well?" And they went, "Oh no, she's okay. She's just a little tired." Oh, okay. And why is she tired? And they said, "Oh, well, she went to the church service this afternoon and that kind of wore her out." Well, I can see a church service putting you to sleep. Okay, been there, done that. But wearing you out, I don't know. And that was at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. This is now 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And this is 1 hour before they start getting them ready for dinner. So they put her in bed and off they trundle. And my mother's introducing me to Eric. Eric's a new person there. Hadn't met him before. It seemed very nice. And she's singing his praises, how nice he is. So she's already buttering up the new staff. Now, they probably have people that are coming in over the holiday weeks because, the regular staff have to have some time off as well. And he was very pleasant, very nice. And my mother's going on, "Oh, he's got the same name as you." And I'm looking at her and thinking, "Have you lost it, Mother? My name is Stephen. Your firstborn." And then I realized, oh, wait, yeah, my middle name is Eric. So I get it, all right? She hasn't lost it yet. Sometimes you just wonder. Maybe I'm losing it. I don't know. So anyways, they go out and I said to Mom, "Well, so Mom, are you not feeling well?" "Oh, no, I feel okay. I'm a little tired." Okay. Well, she was still fully dressed and everything, so I assumed that they were probably going to come back in and get her ready for dinner or whatever. But no, my mother had a plan. She wanted her din-dins in bed. Yeah. My mother has this thing about going down to the dining room. Well, I know she doesn't like the two ladies she sits with, one in particular. But my mother has been moved before because she wasn't getting along with the other people at the table, or they weren't getting along with her. I don't know which. So she ended up with these two. And, well, from her stories, one of the many ways is a bit of a bitch. I don't know if that's really true. I mean, bitch is in the eyes of the beholder, isn't it? What I define as a bitch and what my mother defines as a bitch could be two different things. So I don't know. I've met these ladies briefly before. They seemed pleasant enough to me, but I don't have to live with them. So anyways, she obviously that day was not feeling like going down to the dining room to eat. So Eric says to her, "Okay, so here are the choices today for dinner." One was steak or something, their version of steak. I don't know if you saw it. It probably wouldn't look like steak. But anyways, or some vegetarian dish that had lentils in it. And I knew immediately, my mother's not going for the vegetarian one. She's going for the steak. And she did. She said, "Oh, she would have the steak. Thank you very much." She's very pleasant about it. Eric is writing this down. And then she spins her head around 360 degrees. The pea soup vomit practically comes out and she's talking in tongues. And it's, "And don't forget my dessert." Okay. Because they forgot my dessert before and I don't forget my dessert, so don't forget my dessert. Okay. Right. Back away from the lady in the bed. Back way away. God help you, Eric, if you forgot my mother's dessert. I don't know what happened out of that. I'll ask her when I see her this week. But wow, you don't come between my mother and her dessert. No. No, 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 no. So anyways, the bottom line of it was, yeah, I think she had something planned. I think she was going for the sympathy vote. Unfortunately, we got there before they got her into bed, because if we hadn't seen them putting her in bed, I think I would have heard a different story altogether. I mean, it would have been that she'd been in bed all day and she wasn't feeling all. And it's like, yeah, Christmas is one of my mother's favorite times of the year. And she's stuck in a home. But as I've said before, there is no way we can take her out of the home because she can't walk. She needs major assistance for toileting, and we're not equipped for that kind of thing. And it does bother me. I think about years when I was younger and what Christmas was like when I was a kid and when my dad was still around and everything like that. And, Christmas time is a time for nostalgia and, remembering the good times and the whole bit. But life has changed. So, yeah. But anyways, generally speaking, she is fine. And I talked to her yesterday on the phone, and there wasn't much to talk about because she hadn't been doing much, and I certainly hadn't been doing all that much. So anyways, but she sounded pretty good. So we'll go over on Tuesday as we usually do and, check out everything and see how things are at that. Okay, so that's my mother. Christmas Eve, we went to my sister's for dinner after we visited Mom, and that was nice. It was just my sister, my brother-in-law, and my niece and nephew. So just the 6 of us. And my sister had some little games we played, which was kind of fun as well. And but my sister wasn't feeling well. There's something going around, and we were discussing this yesterday on Stephen and Walter Live. It's a viral infection of some sort, and one person said they thought it was airborne, and the doctors can't give you anything for it. It just has to work out its time. Now, knock wood, I've been around several people that have this, and I haven't had it yet. I don't know if that's because I had the flu shot and it's fighting it or whatever. I do have a fairly strong resistance to diseases, and I think it was my years of teaching when the kids brought every disease in, and so your first couple of years of teaching, you were sick all the time because you're picking up everything the kids had, but after time you built up immunity. I don't know if there's any scientific basis for that whatsoever. It's just in my head, but whatever, knock wood, neither Walter nor I have this at the moment, which is good. Okay, so my sister has it, and I don't think it's been too good for her at all. But we had a really nice time. And on Christmas Day, we had Walter's family here, his sister and brother-in-law, and their 2 kids. Their 2 kids are adults. And their oldest, Ken, his wife was there, and their 2 little girls, our great nieces as well. Best behaved little girls I have ever met. They really were. I mean, I was kind of worried about how we're going to keep them amused. I mean, because they're only like 7 or 8 and 6 and 7 or something like that, whatever. They're young and whatnot, but they were able, they brought some coloring books that they got, Frozen 2, and colored, and were happy that way. So actually it was really a nice time with Walter's family. So that was what we did on Christmas. And now yesterday, Sunday, we were supposed to get together at my sister's place again to have lunch with my cousin and his little girl and my cousin's mother, who's my Aunt X, actually, was married to my uncle. And this is my uncle's son. But my uncle passed away a few years ago, but he was divorced from Scott's mother, kind of a thing. And I haven't seen her since my uncle's funeral. But anyways, there's a lot of other things underneath that whole story anyways, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But anyways, we didn't have the lunch. The weather was being predicted that we're going to have freezing rain, and Scott had to come from a place that's about an hour and a half away from us, and he didn't really want to chance the roads, which I can't blame him for that. So we just postponed it. We're going to do it sometime later in the month. And whatnot. And quite frankly, I wasn't really in the mood for it, and I don't think my sister was in the mood. I think she's still feeling under the weather as well. So yeah, give it a few weeks, and when everybody's in a little bit better health, I guess. So what's coming up? New Year's Eve. Well, we talked about this yesterday on Stephen and Walter Live. We are not doing anything New Year's Eve. And that's not unusual. We have never had a lot of good luck with New Year's Eve. Last year we went to the club, as we call it, which is an LGBTQ club, and we couldn't get out of there soon enough. We basically were, not on purpose, but we felt like we didn't belong. There were a group of people there that we know. They're those kind of people that are in between your worlds. Like, they're more than acquaintances, less than really good friends. you see at different things over the course of a year, back and forth. But they're not the kind of people that call you up on the phone and have a little chat with you about stuff, or you get together on a regular basis for drinks or whatever kind of thing. So we were talking to them when we first got there, and I kind of said, oh, well, do you mind? Can we sit with you? No. Oh, okay, sorry. And then they said, well, those are taken. And they did have a reserve sign on their table, which I kind of wondered why there was a reserve sign, because there weren't that many people there. This was not a huge thing, okay? I said, oh, okay. Now, it takes you back when somebody says that, right? If I had been in this situation where somebody had walked in that, I sort of know and whatnot, and even if the chairs were all taken at the table that I'm sitting at, I would have tried to at least say, well, let's see if we can grab a couple of the chairs and just, there's plenty of room here. We can squeeze in. No. Okay. I don't think they were doing that to be purposely rude or anything like that. I think it was just the situation. So we sat at another table by ourselves, except for two lesbians, and they really didn't want to have anything to do with us, and that was okay, because we really didn't want to have anything to do with them. I mean, we passed pleasantries at the beginning, and then they sat at their end of the table, and we sat at our end of the table, and we ate. The food was not that great. We paid like $45 each for this. They didn't start the music and the dancing until after midnight, and we stayed until midnight, had our perfunctory glass of champagne, listened to, everybody running around kissing everybody. Oh, I hate that. I hate strangers coming. Even people I know, I don't like kissing me. So, it's kind of like that. I know. Probably that's why they didn't want to sit at their table. I'm just a bastard. It's simple as that. I don't think I am, but maybe other people think I am. But anyways, we got out of there very quickly, and we said never again. So this year we're trying to decide what we're going to do New Year's Eve. I'm already prepared to go, let's stay at home. We'll have a nice dinner ourselves, whatever. Drink some champagne and, just be the two of us. We have a hot tub. We can do the hot tub and things like that. And I think we will have a better time. One, we don't have to worry about transportation because, you can't drink and drive. And I always worry about that kind of thing as well. Because Walter's usually doing the driving. And so, I feel that I can't have, not that we drink excessively, but, I feel apprehensive about having a drink more than him because he has to drive. And so, you don't need alcohol to have a good time, but everybody else around you is having a drink. And it's festive. You want to have that glass of champagne and things like that. But it's zero tolerance on the roads. Yes, we could take a taxi. The problem with that is getting a taxi to come home. Yes, there's Uber, but to be honest, I have never taken an Uber in my life, and I don't know how reliable they really are. I mean, I know some people take them all the time, no problems, and then you hear other people that have a lot of problems with it. And Uber is not cheap. I mean, a taxi drive from where the club is and where our house is not cheap either. Last time we ever did that, I think it was about $20 one way. We live about 5-6 miles from the venue, so I don't know. But anyways, yes, you could do that. I just think it's a whole lot of hassle for a whole lot of nothing. Let's stay at home and do our own thing. Now, and he agreed. And then at the last minute he was saying, well, maybe we should get tickets. And I said, do I need to remind you about what happened last year? And when we started discussing it, we decided, no, we're not missing out on anything. We'll stay home. We did think about we've got some nice steaks in the freezer, which we can sous vide. And we thought we'd get maybe some lobster tails as well. Now, they've got whole lobsters supposedly on sale in different places, although when we went to one place that had them on sale, the tank was empty. So I don't know if they escaped or what. But we're looking for lobster tails. Well, not so easy to find. because some places had them, but they were tiny, tiny, tiny. 2 in a package for like $15. These were like, you've heard of 2-bite brownies? These were like 2-bite lobster tails, if that. And I'm thinking to Walter, in order for us to, we'd need a couple of packages of these. So right off the bat, you're talking $30 for lobster tails that you will consume within seconds. And there's no guarantee either. They're frozen, whether, how good they're going to be. So I said, skip over that idea. And he agreed. Now, somebody was saying yesterday that M&Ms have lobster tails that aren't bad. And I hadn't thought of M&Ms, and we have an M&Ms not too far from us. So maybe today or tomorrow we'll pop in and just take a look and see what they've got. But anyways, long story short, we're staying home for New Year's Eve. Simple as that. So that'll be our plans. And yeah, so that's what's coming up. So what else is coming up? Okay, next Sunday, Stephen and Walter Live will be on 1 hour later, 5 p.m. instead of 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I'm teaching an art journal class. It's my monthly. And so it will be 1 hour later. And I have no idea what the topic next week is going to be. I'm running out of topics to talk about. And that was interesting. The power just went off. So, luckily, what I'm recording this on has batteries. So it's okay. It's all charged up. But now I'm standing in the dark as well. So I think that's a sign from up on high. It's time to say goodbye. So from the dark, I say goodbye, good night, good day, goodbye, good whatever, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever. And you have a really great New Year's Eve, and we'll see you in 2020 next week. Bye-bye.